Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Nemesis Lockdown. We're playing with the Survivor and the Lab Rat. We're attempting to, complete our objectives. The two objectives we must do is we have to finish the game with either 8 knowledge and send the signal, or at least one character must finish the game with a larva on their character board. The other objective we must complete is that we have to be able to activate the alert procedures. So that is our mission. That is what we're attempting to do. Sadly, these Night Stalkers are getting in our way, but we're trying to get through the best we can. There are a couple things I do want to mention before we continue. The first one is I had a lot of questions about when I stopped in this room and actually made a combat attack. That was the end of my actions, and I should have taken damage because of the fire. I should take a light wound whenever you finish your round in a room with fire. But I had this enviro suit that I forgot to mention when I was standing in there, and I should have done that. That's my fault. I'm able to ignore the rules for slime and fire damage. So when she has this, she's not going to take any of that damage. Also, when we set the game up, our elevator I placed up at the top. It's not supposed to go there. It's supposed to go right here in section 2. And I want to thank the people that noticed those few errors that I made. Also, there was an error that had to do with leaving this room when this character was here. Whenever you leave a room where an intruder is, they get to do an attack against you as you try to flee. And I think I missed one of those when we originally started the playthrough. But that's okay. One more thing I have to talk about is the isolation room. This isolation room is pretty cool. You start there and it says when the time token is on slot 8, the time tracker, flip this room tile. What it doesn't state there, that it says on those handy dandy room reference guides that they have, which explains every single room in detail, is that when you start your activation in the isolation room, you get to draw one additional card at the start of your turn. The reason this is important is 2 of our characters did start there, and it does say that at the beginning of the game that does take effect. So we should have drawn 6 cards at the beginning of the game for our Lab Rat and our Survivor, but that's okay. I don't think it would have made too much of a difference. We still would have been okay when we were ambushed by this creature, but sadly we would not have been okay when we were ambushed by the other Night Stalker. It still would have been able to attack us. That's all I've got for you. Let's go ahead and continue. The Survivor and Lab Rat need to finish their objectives, and can they do that? To find out, I need you to meet me at the table. Sound of your voice is still keeping me awake. Oh, the next big thing. Yeah, within a moment of weakness, we'll make it. Time you will hear. Left off by moving into our character turn, so we are going to draw up to 5 action cards. We'll start with our Survivor, who is going to pass the first player token over to the Lab Rat. She has 1 card right here. We're going to shuffle up our deck and see what cards we get. Give it a good old truffle shuffle here, and hopefully get some cards that help us out. Well, at least that's the hope. 2, 3, 4. Let's see what we found. We found an interruption card, vents. We have one of our contamination cards and a demolition card. So sadly, this contamination card is going to kind of sadly gum up our hand, but that's okay. I think we're going to be okay. I have to put my enviro suit down here. It can't go up there. It is a heavy item, so we have to equip it in one of our 2 hand slots. That's our Survivor. Let's move over to the Lab Rat. Our Lab Rat will also draw up to 5 cards. She has 2. Here's another 3rd, and then we'll shuffle these up to get the last 2. So we have 3 right now. We have 4 and 5. We have sensitive hearing, and we also have her interruption card. Sweet. Moving to the board, we want to get to this room right here. That is going to be our alert room. The only problem is we have to get through at least 1 more room. This corridor up here has a noise token in it, so it's going to be best to move this way. And when we do, we can use a careful move. This is something I was making a mistake in the last playthrough. The reason why I might not well just use a careful move is because we have this knee severe injury here. This knee injury, it's terrible. It says the cost of your first movement, including escape actions in the player's first turn in the round, is 2. The cost of a careful movement action is still 2. So at this point, we better just use a careful movement, being able to place our noise token wherever we want it. let's use our interruption card and our search card to move. And we'll move right down to here. Let's take a look at what we have found. We have found the contaminated room. Gain a slime when searching. Oh, that's not going to be good. With my luck, there'd be a lot of items in this room. There's 3. Oh, and there's slime anyway. So she's slimed. It doesn't matter. Oh, I might as well spin this to 3. She's going to gain a slime marker, but she already has one, so it's not the end of the world. Well, then I think I might actually search the room since I've already got a slime marker there. Why not? Before I do, though, I do have to place down a noise token, and this noise token will be placed down in any corridor I want because I chose to do a careful movement. So I think we're going to place it back here in 1 and 2, and there's a reason for that, and that's because we're going this way. Leave the noise behind. Let's see if we can find something neat. We're going to use that search card here to grab 2 cards. I think we're going to grab medical cards because she's in a lot of hurt and we've got to stop that bleeding. That bleeding is just killing us. So we were able to either gain clothes, which will discard a slime mark, or dress 1 serious wound, which would be great. Or we can get a medical stapler, which can dress 1 serious wound or heal a light wound. So either one of these is going to be able to dress a serious wound, which is really what we're looking for. So let's take the clothes. We're going to grab our clothes. We're going to put this one back on the bottom of the deck. Those are her 2 actions. We'll move over to the survivor now. Surprisingly, I want a larva. So in order for her to complete her objective, she needs to have a larva on her character board, or at least one of us do. The lab rat isn't looking too good right now, so I think it might be her doing it. We're going to try to figure out a way to find one. We're going to start by using our interruption card to move, and I'm just going to move. I think I'm going to move down one of these corridors over to this room over here and see what it is. Maybe it's something that can help us out. We're going to flip it over, and we have found the emergency room. I can treat my wounds here. This will be really good. We might be able to do that. That'd be awesome. And I got a blank. So that means that it's a quiet room. There's no noise. No noise was made, but there's one thing in this room as well. So we'll turn it to there. One thing I want to mention that I haven't talked about before is the amount of items in rooms when you're playing true solo is only half the value. But since we're playing with 2 players or more, you get the full value of these. I just wanted to make sure you understood that that was actually a cool little rule they added so that the solo player can't just go around and start grabbing every single thing they see, which would be pretty cool. Now, sadly, I don't have any cards that can search right now, but I can use the emergency room. The emergency room allows me to dress all my serious wounds or heal one of your dressed serious wounds, or I can heal all of my light wounds. Now, she doesn't have any light wounds. She has a dressed serious wound, so let's get rid of it. To do that, I'm going to use 2 cards as notated here on the tile of that room. So we'll get rid of our demolition and our desperate attack. Hopefully we don't need it. That would be terrible. And we're going to discard this dressed serious wound. Oh my gosh, that was perfect. So she is back to full strength, which is awesome. So those were her 2 actions. She moved over here and dressed her serious wound. With my lab rat, we're going to be a little tricky. I have a couple cards here that work really well when going into like darkness and things like that. We're going to use Feel of the Dark. I could use this to prevent an event happening in the darkness, so the darkness part of it wouldn't actually affect her, but I'm going to use it to move. We're going to move up to there. We're going to roll our noise die and see what happens to her. Hopefully we don't get something really terrible. We got an all quiet symbol. That would be fantastic, except for one small problem. We have slime. That means that this is going to represent the danger symbol instead, so my entire plan that I had is going to be thrown completely out the window. Let me show you my plan. It was going to be great, but now it's going to be sad, sad. Oh, there's going to be nothing but sadness for her. We're going to put a noise token in every room or corridor adjacent to her. The other card I had was this one, which allows me to discard a noise token from a chosen corridor connected to the room you're in. I was going to use that to prevent one of these from actually taking effect, meaning there would be no noise next to her. Instead, what I should have done is moved with her, because then I'd be able to keep this card, which I could have used to stop any of the events that are going to attack her in the darkness. Instead, now I have only that one card that I guess I could still use it. It allows me to place a noise token, or I can remove a noise token. I might as well just remove a noise token with it, or I could keep it so when the monsters attack, I actually have at least one card to maybe prevent a what do you call it? Oh, I know what I'm going to do with it. Silly me. I'm going to use this to, I'm going to use my clothes. I'm going to use it to use my clothes. That's a great idea, Baron. Let's heal ourselves. I'm going to dress this serious wound so we are no longer bleeding. I'm still slimed, but I'm not bleeding, which is going to be a lot better than being slimed. Then we have no cards in hand. That's the end of her turn, but since she doesn't have that bleeding condition anymore, she's not going to take any more light wounds. Moving back down here, our survivor is just going to move up 1 square. Using her vents card, she's going to move into this isolation room so she can take advantage of that extra card in the next turn that I talked about at the beginning of the video that I totally forgot about at the beginning of the game. I do have to roll my noise roll and see what we get. We've got a 2. We'll place a noise token in number 2 right there. That's going to be the end of our actions. We're going to go into the event phase. The first thing we have to do is launch our CSS pod. And since there's one underneath our time tracker, we're going to reveal it, and that is the one that is launched. So right now, A just launched. If we had a character in A, they'd be launched out, and they would be saved in theory if, of course, all the objectives are complete, and the final contingency wasn't kill all in CSS pods or something. But lucky for us, well, I guess not lucky for us, but because we're still in the base, but we don't have to worry about it. We're going to move our time track up 1. We are now on 9. Now, when this crosses over to the 8, that's when our isolation room will become possible to put ourselves in and lock ourselves in, aka we can lock down ourselves, which is kind of cool. We're going to remove all our noise at this time, but there's no power in this place. I'm doing absolutely terrible and trying to keep this place powered up, but all the places that have to do with power have a bunch of Night Stalkers in them, including a queen, so it's hard for me to really keep this place powered up unless I can find another room that does this type of thing. We're going to move into the intruder attack. There isn't any of that. The intruder fire damage, though, is going to take effect. This guy's just hanging out in the fire on the laboratory there, so he's going to take 1 damage, and we're going to see what happens to him. He has 4, so nothing's going to happen to him. He's just going to hang out there and make my day bad. And because I can't get to this is one of our objectives. We also have that queen up here. We have this guy over here. Oh, this is just absolutely amazing. That's the end of the fire resolve damage step. We're now going to go ahead and draw ourselves an event card and then do our intruder bag development. Our event for this round is going to be leaving the shell. Each character with a larva on their character board gets a contamination card and scans it. Oh my gosh, check this out. And it says here, if it's an infected card, they die. Place a creeper in their room. Otherwise, place a contamination card in your discard pile. Each other character draws 4 cards from their deck and scans all drawn contamination cards. If they have at least 1 infected card, put a larva on their character board, discard all drawn cards. So this might be kind of good in theory, or a little bit maybe. Oh, we also have to move our guys around according to this card as well. So we're going to move our queen down 1. That's the only one that's going to move, and then we have to draw 4 cards and see what happens. So wanting to keep the power off in this system is going to continue because the queen is moving to 1, meaning our power generator also does not have the ability for us to get to and work on. Not to mention it's on fire anyway, but that's okay. Before we draw all our cards, there is something I do need to alert you to. Right down here and tell all players have passed. We have this ability in this area where I can discard any cards I want before we move to the event phase. I would have discarded this. It'd be pointless to hold on to that contamination card. We're going to want to have discarded that card. At this point, we're going to do what it says in the event stage, and we're going to draw 4 cards. And if we have a contamination card, we have to scan it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we have any of those contamination cards this time. We do not, so we're going to discard those, which means I think I have 2 on this character. I think the other one's in here. That's too bad. Our lab rat doesn't have any. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to take her 4 cards here and discard all of these cards into her discard pile. At this point, we will do our intruder bag development. We'll give it a good old, I guess, alien shuffle here and see if we can get something not bad out of this. We found a normal alien, so that means we are going to have to do another noise roll for all of our characters. We'll start with our survivor. Let's see what she rolled. She rolled a 4. We'll place a noise token down in 4. And up here, I bet we're going to be met with doom and gloom. We got a 1. We are met with doom and gloom. I'm going to remove all of these noise counters from all around her. That's, I guess, the bonus part. The sad part is she is going to be meeting a new friend. Let's see who her friend is. Good news is she won't be able to see it because she's got a blindfold on. Let's see what she has found. She has found, a little larva guy. That's kind of good and kind of bad. We'll take our larva token, place it there. It's got a 0 and a 1, so I needed 1 card to not be surprised by the larva. Sadly, I don't have any cards because I decided to dress my serious wound. Being surprised by a larva means we're going to be infested. Instead of drawing a normal alien attack card or a Night Stalker attack card, we're going to do this infest step instead. Well, we're going to remove the larva from the board and place it down on our character character sheet. So now, remember I needed a larva on somebody's board? Got one. Didn't have to take too much to do that. Then we're going to give the targeted player a contamination card. So she's going to gain one of these contamination cards and put it into her discard pile. Since that larva attacked us, we will remove this from the game. I shouldn't say removed from the game. It goes back into the stack with the rest of the larva tokens. We have to add one in. This one potentially could go back in. It's not removed from the game. That's a bad use of words. We're going to return our first player token down to here, and we are going to draw up 1, 2, 3 cards, and I'm going to get 3 more because I am in our, the isolation room. So she's going to gain 1 more card. And of course, I just realized something that I forgot to do, 1, 2, 3, that I was going to remind myself to do in between our 2 play sessions here, but I totally failed. Search, contamination, repairs, vents, search, and another contamination card. So I got both my contamination cards. It might be worth me going to the surgery room where I can get rid of those contamination cards, but we shall see. Our lovely lab rat here, on the other hand, is going to mix up all of these cards and draw 4 more. She's not in the isolation room, so she's going to get 6. She only gets 5. We'll draw them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, she gets 4. 4 new cards plus the 1 right here. Let's see what she got. She got basic repairs, a contamination card, inconsistency, sensitive hearing, demolition. Okay, she's got a card that can get rid of those contamination cards, which would be really awesome to get. She did not get it. Super sad. What I forgot to do when I started up the second part of our playthrough is I was in the nest and I was keep on trying to remind myself I was going to do this, but we didn't do that. I guess that's what you get for recording in between with a little bit of time in between. Totally forgot to do that when coming back in here, but that's okay. We're going to continue on and we're going to do that, activate the alert procedures probably this turn. So we're going to be starting to get our objectives complete. I could move over to that surgery room and perform a surgical procedure, but there is kind of a drawback to it. After you scan all your contamination cards from your action, deck, hand, and discard, I can remove all the infected cards. Of course, it will also heal a larva token if I have one, but I don't. I actually want somebody with one on there. At that point, I am going to have to suffer a light wound, and then I automatically pass and I lose all the rest of my cards. So there's kind of a drawback to go there. I'm going to keep the contamination cards. I think they're okay to have in my deck for now. I don't really like them, but there's not much I can do. We're going to use our repairs card to move over to this tile. I'm going to try to get up to the lab rat and try to help her out. If I can get to her and start helping her get that signal sent and try to, both of them maybe can work together to get back to the isolation room and seal themselves in. Or of course, we could try to find one of the CSS pods, and if we know which one's going next, we might be able to take advantage of that. Who knows? Let's go up here and see what we have found. We have found the cave entrance. Move through the technical corridors for 2. That's not bad. It's kind of cool. She's already got a card that allows her to do that. Oh, it's on fire! But there's four things in this room. That's pretty awesome. We'll move up there. This is on fire. That's awesome. Now remember, if I can't place a fire token or a malfunction marker, this place explodes and we lose the game. But good news, we're kind of far off from that. Remember, I have my Enviro suit, so I'm not going to take any damage being in that fire. But we have to roll our noise first, because I'm thinking about searching in there. Let's see what we found. We got a 2. That's terrible. That's right where we're going. It's right here. So there is one there and there. There isn't any in the technical corridor, so maybe I might want to use the cave entrance to use the technical corridors to get closer to the lab rat, and we can work together, because in that room that she's in, not only can she start that signal, or I should say start the alert process, she can also peek at one contingency token from the neutral pool and obtain the token. So there's a way to start draining this stack to find out which one is at the end of that track. If we are in the wrong spot when we finish, that means we lose, and no matter what we did for all the objectives and all the pain and agony we're going through, we would still lose the game, which would be absolutely horrible. Now, if we use the cave entrance, it does say you may move to a chosen explored room with a technical corridor entrance. Draw and resolve an attack card. Treat it as an attack from an alien intruder. Adult intruder. It's very similar to the exact same one I have here, where it says the same thing, except treat this attack as if from an adult intruder in darkness. So there is, it is exactly the same. It's in darkness. So these are very similar to them, and this one only cost me 1, where the cave entrance themselves cost me 2. So for her to do it isn't that big of a deal. I could get to the contaminated room, but then I would get slime. But it's only if I search there. Let's see what I can do here. Oh, wait, actually, it's a good idea. I am going to use my vents card, but it's going to cost me 1 other card. Oh, no, do I really want to do that? I don't know if I want to do that. I think we're just going to search in this room. I'm going to use my search card. Let's see what's here. I'm going to tick this down to 3. We're going to grab 2 of these normal items. Maybe we can start making that, what is it, the flame unit or something. I've got a tool belt and cables. What does cables do? If you're in a section with power, fully load ammo in your energy weapon. Oh my gosh, well, nothing has power. Open and close one door in a corridor connected to a room you're in. Well, that's not going to help us either. I think I'm going to grab the tool belt, discard a malfunction marker from the room you're in, or open and close one door to a corridor connected to this room you're in. I'm going to keep the tool belt, mainly because that's a fantastic one to have when attempting to create one of our items here. For example, we want to try to get that flamethrower because we have that ability on the laboratory that we have uncovered. It's one of their weaknesses. They're vulnerable to fire for thermite charges and flamethrowers. Sadly, it doesn't count fire in a room. If it was fire in a room, that'd be awesome because we'd be doing so much more fire damage to them. So I've got this flamethrower that I could potentially make if I can find one of those now. That's the end of her turn. She's done 2 actions. She moved over here and she searched. Let's see what our lab rat can do. She has 4 cards here. She has her basic repair, inconspicuous, sensitive hearing, and her demolition. She's going to use all 4 of these. To use this room, it costs 2 cards, and I'm going to do 2 things. The first one I'm going to do is check a contingency token, and we're going to put it into our pool. We now know kill all in the isolation room is not the final one. That's awesome. So there's a pretty good one. We could use that. Now we know the isolation room is safe. We could use that to our advantage. The second one we're going to do is we are going to activate the alert procedures. To do this, we're going to divide the number in which the time token is by 2 rounding down and place it on the board. So we're going to place it at 4 because it's going to be rounding down, and we're at 9. If this time token reaches there, the game is automatically over. So we have to try to get back either the isolation room or find another way off of this rock. The other thing that would happen is the isolation room immediately opens once that is active. It's already open because it's not open yet because we're on 9. We haven't gotten to 8. So we are going to open the isolation room, which means we're going to flip this over to this side, which means now we could lock ourselves in that room if we wish to, which might not be a bad idea. The problem is if our survivor had the larva token on, this would be a perfect opportunity for her to be done, but she doesn't. Instead, she's going to search. We're done with our lab rat. She's done 2 actions. We're going to use our other search card here to search inside this room. We're going to tick this down to a 2. And remember, I do have my Enviro suit, so I'm not taking any damage from that fire, which is actually not a bad place to be right now. Let's see what we have found. We have found a flashlight, and we have found an emergency access. Okay, well, neither one of these have anything up here that's going to help me with crafting. So let's see what these do. Emergency access. If you're in the elevator room, call the elevator and use it even though there is no power in the elevator. I think we're done with the elevator. It's a long ways away. I don't think we're going to get back to it. Flashlight. Discard 1 energy from the flashlight to use an advantage die when shooting or to ignore darkness effects for you. I do not have 5 knowledge, so I can't use that one, but it's a heavy object, which means I'd have to drop my Enviro suit. Yuck, that's a bad idea. I'm going to take the emergency access, so I don't think I'm ever going to use it, but who knows? We might be running that direction at some point. I just can't afford to lose my Enviro suit at this point unless I get something like a flamethrower or something. She only has 2 contamination cards, so at this point she has to pass, and I'm going to discard those 2 cards. I could keep them to help prevent a surprise attack, but I just want to keep. I don't think it's going to be best to keep them. I am going to keep my vents card. I did actually have 1 more card. I apologize. I had a vents and 2 contamination cards. I'm going to keep that vents card. I don't think I'm going to use it yet. I might use it next round though. We don't have any CSS we're going to activate. Instead, we're going to move down our time track, and we are now across that threshold where we would activate the isolation room, but it already activated since we did the alert procedures. Before we move on, the lab rat also had a contamination card. I'm going to discard that before we do anything else. We're going to do our noise removal. Of course, we're not doing any of that because nothing's on. We haven't powered the station on. We're going to do our intruder attacks. There's none of that, but there is fire damage. These are both going to take 2 more damage. I highly doubt that's going to kill the queen, but you never know with this guy. That'd be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? He's going to go to 2. Let's draw our attack cards. I'm going to draw 1 for this guy right here. He's got a 3. Oh, so close. We almost killed him. That would have been amazing. We do draw 2 for the queen and see what happens. A 5 and a 2. There is a 2 in the deck, and it was 1 too late. Oh, that's funny. All right, that's the end of that. Neither one of these are going to move. They're going to stay, or not going to move. They're not going to die. And I didn't draw a move symbol on those attack cards, so they're just going to sit right there. We'll move to our next event card, and good news, that one goes in the bottom. We're just going to draw our next one here, and we have damage. Oh no. Place a malfunction marker in each room with an adult, intruder, berserker, or breeder, or queen. And if it's in darkness, place a malfunction marker in each room with a character as well. Wow, that's a lot of malfunction going on the board. We're going to be placing down 4 malfunction tokens. We're only going to have 3 more in the reserve, so we have to be careful here. We're going to place 1 here, 1 here. Then we're going to place 1 in that cave entrance where our survivor is, and we're going to place 1 into the alert room where our lab rat is. Interestingly, the alert room is a set room. It's not one of these ones with a tile, but it does state that it can gain fire tokens and malfunction tokens just like these other ones. Now we'll do our intruder bag development. Oh, we have to move our aliens first, our intruders. We have one right here. The normal aliens are going to move down 3. This guy's going to move here, and funny enough, this guy's going to move down 3 as well. He's going to move right back into there. That's pretty funny. I'm going to move these tokens around so that they're all in the right spot here. And he's moving into fire, and it's probably going to kill him most likely, which is a little bit too late for me, which is too sad. They both move down 3, the creeper and our adult alien, so they're just moving back and forth there. Now we'll do our intruder bag development. Let's see what we got. Come on, something not too bad. How about maybe like a blank token or something? Or maybe the queen? Oh, the queen's already out there. Again, really hope for that. Oh, I did get the blank token. Oh, that's pretty amazing. If we look here, it says return this token to the intruder bag and add 1 adult intruder token to the intruder bag. So we'll just take this one and place it right in there. Lucky for us, we didn't have to roll any type of noise or anything. I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4 cards here. See what we got? We have interruption, obstinate, we have rest, and we have demolition. What's this one do? This one has to do with draw 1 card for each serious wound, discard 1 of your items to dress 1 of your serious wounds. Okay, we don't have to worry about that. I am going to pass this up to the lab rat. We'll place that right there. And good news, I don't have to worry about contingency tokens because we know kill all in the isolation room is not going to be happening. So if we can just get back there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I get 5 cards, we'll be okay. I have search, interruption, rest, search, and there it is. Weird metabolism. I can discard a slime marker, or I can discard 1 contamination card from your hand to draw 2 cards from your deck. Well, I don't have any contamination cards, but I do have a slime marker. We're going to get rid of that. That's going to be awesome. And since it's her turn, let's just go ahead and start by doing that. I'm going to discard that card to get rid of the slime marker. Then she's going to use her rest and her interruption card to move quietly, or carefully I should say, down to this location right here. Let's see what she found. She found the cooling system. Auto-destruct, I can initiate the auto-destruct system from there. That's fantastic. And this one, oh, it's malfunction. Oh no, I only have 2 malfunction tokens left. There are 3 things in this room. I have to find the little arrow here and match it up. It took me a little second to find it. There we go, just like that. We'll place our character back down there. Oh no, I only have 2 malfunction tokens left. I do have to place a noise token, but I get to choose where it goes. I'm going to choose number 1 right back there. Those are her 2 actions. We'll move over to the survivor. We're going to try something a little risky. I'm going to use my interruption card. I'm going to discard that to gain the extra card I need to pay for the vents. We're going to use this. It says, if you're in a room with a technical corridor entrance, you may move to a chosen explored room with a technical corridor entrance. Draw and resolve an attack card. Treat it as an attack from an adult intruder in darkness. So I'm going to go from here over to here. I'm not going to have to roll a noise roll because I'm moving to a place where another character is. I do have to draw a Night Stalker attack card. Let's see what we have. We have piercing the heart. Oh, it's only the queen. Okay, so I don't have to worry about this one. The character suffers 1 serious wound and gets 1 contamination. If the character has at least 2 serious wounds, they die. That's terrible. Well, good news. I don't have to worry about it because it's not an adult intruder on that card. I'm going to use my next card. I'm going to use our rest, or should I use 2 cards? Then I can move quietly. Let's do that. We're going to quietly move around this station. I've got plans. I'm going to use my rest card and my demolition card to move carefully right over here. Let's see what we found. We have found, what is this? The cargo sending system A. Oh no, this one's already been launched. Too bad it wasn't. If it was the one we wanted, it could have been good. Oh well, that's okay. Let's see, where's our exploration tokens? Right here. Let's see what it is. Oh, oh no, there's a door. Oh, that's terrible. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, Mr. the lab rat person. I have dropped a door down behind you. There is one in there. Oh no, if that couldn't have gone any worse for us, I don't know what could. I still have to place 1 noise token down, even though I did move quietly. That brings us back to our lab rat, and sadly our lab rat only has search actions. She might as well use both these to search. I don't see why not, unless she wants to keep them to not be attacked by this intruder that potentially could appear. I think I'm going to use them both. I'm going to use both of our search cards to rotate this down to 1, and we'll see if we can find something fun, right? Down to 1, something fun. Here's our first search action. We have found a wrench, and duct tape. Discard 1 malfunction marker in the room you're in. Or I can discard the wrench, roll the combat die, and deal injury as in a shoot action. Or I can open and close a door and a corridor connected you to a room you're in. Oh, that would be good. Use to add 1 heavy item or 1... Okay, I got a plan. I'm going to take this one, and since that was my first action, I'm not going to use the other action to search. I'm going to use it to pay for this. I'm going to pay for this and open the door. That's what we're going to do. That gives us... That's it. We're done. The survivor then could go, but she's not going to. She's just going to keep her card, and that's going to be all we're going to do for this round. We'll start our event phase by launching our CSS pod. Let's see which one it is. It is B, so B is gone. We'll move that down 1. We're 3 turns away from being done. We need to get back to that isolation room. Our intruders are all going to take fire damage, so he's going to go to 6. I don't think he can get much more than that. And this one's going to go to 3. So there's potential for something bad for this guy. Let's see. Finally! Oh my gosh, it took the entire game to kill this guy. He is dead. We're going to remove this and this. We're going to return this to the pool. Then we're going to place down a corpse token for that character. You don't put down corpse tokens for larvae if you kill them, but you do for any other type. So this is, wow, this is broken and on fire. Well, the laboratory is definitely, they have just wrecked everything over here. It's out of control. We're going to draw 2 cards for the queen. The queen is a 2 and a 5, so that means that she's not going to do anything. She's just going to hang out there. But of course, the event card might trigger her to do something else. And we'll go on to that now. Hopefully nothing super bad is happening. Leaving the shell. Each character with a larva on their character card gets a contamination card in there. Oh my gosh, it's the same one. I just had that one. Are there multiples? Oh my gosh, there are 2 of these. This is out of control. Each character with a larva on their character board gets a contamination card and scans it. If it's infected, they die. Otherwise, place a contamination card in your discard pile. Each other character draws 4 cards in their skin, scans them, and oh no, and scans all drawn contamination cards. If they have at least 1 infected card, they put a larva on the board, discard all drawn cards. Okay, this is terrible. And of course, everybody is moving. Nope, the queen is not. The breeder, the queen, I lied, sorry. The queen and the creeper are moving down 4. Good news, the creeper's dead. Totally forgot about that. But our queen is going to move down 4, which means she's going to be ending up in the surgery. Apparently, she knows we have to get rid of some of these contamination cards. Our lab rat has a larva on her card. She has to draw a contamination card, and we have to scan this thing and see what happens. Oh, this is going to be really, really bad if it's an infected card. Let's see what it says here. If we look, it says, none of these words say the word infected, so she's just fine. That's awesome. We do have to draw 4 cards for our survivor. We have 1, 2. Then we'll just shuffle up our cards and draw 2 more and see what we get here. We'll give them a good old truffle shuffle and draw a couple more. We got one of our contamination cards, so we have to check that out. Let's see, and these 3 are going to be discarded, which is terrible because those are all really good cards. Let's see what we have. We'll slide this thing right in here and see. And even with sleeves, these do fit in really nicely. We have, again, I do not see infected anywhere. Oh, that's awesome. Now, even though those didn't say infected, they still go back in their discard piles. So both those guys still keep those cards. They're not that lucky to get rid of them like that. Since we're at our lab rat, she'll just draw her 5 cards now, 1 right there. And she'll be passing that first player token back over to the survivor here. We got to give these a good truffle shuffle because I don't want to get those contamination cards. Or if I do get the contamination card, I want to get it with that other card that allows me to do awesome things by getting rid of it. But who knows? I'm probably not going to be that lucky. Let's see what happens here. We've got Feel the Dark, Search in, let's see here. Okay, I didn't get that card that helps me get rid of slime or contaminated cards. The good news is I didn't get any of the contaminated cards either. Let's draw our 4 cards for her. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just realized, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have the rest, contamination, repairs, and search. We did not do our intruder bag development. That was all the event phase doing all that evil stuff to us. So we have to actually do our intruder bag development phase. Let's see what happens to our characters. This might change a lot of things. Remember, neither one had 1 card. Our survivor had a card. We've got the larva. Looking at our card, it says remove the token from the intruder bag and add 1 adult token to the intruder bag. So it's not going to affect anything we've already done, which is fantastic. I'm just going to drop this adult intruder right in there, which means I don't think we have any more larvae in that bag anymore. My luck. So we're going to be in big trouble here if we find anything. We got to get to that isolation room and get done. At this point, we have a few options to try to get out of here. One, we can try to make that isolation room, but in order to use the isolation room, there can't be an intruder in the room, and there's a queen right outside it. If that thing moves in, I'm dead meat, and I don't think I'll be able to get out of here. The other option is we could use the main gate and the bunker. The problem is the door to the actual exit has not been opened yet. In order for that to be opened, we either have to have a person die, we have to find an item to be able to do it, or the auto-destruct sequence has to start. We haven't done any of those things yet. So the main door is not open, though the rover is there and ready for us to use it. The other idea to do is there is still one CSS pod, but there are 4 markers up there, and one of them is the only one that's going to be good. And unless we have a way of finding out which one it is, that's not going to be an option either. So I think our best bet is still the isolation room. Let's see if we can do it. The problem is I wanted to have the lab rat go first so she can move over here without having to worry about doing any type of noise rolls at all. But sadly, that's not going to happen. Well, I could. It's just going to take us longer, and I think that might be okay. We're going to use our search action first because there is still one thing in this cargo room. I'm going to turn that to 0, and let's go ahead and grab ourselves. Should we get some medical supplies? Maybe we can hand them off to the lab rat. She needs all the help she can get. Let's get some, or should I get some more military supplies to maybe remove any of the intruders that might happen to get us along the way? Oh, this is such a tough call. I decided to go for some military stuff. Let's see if we can get it. I'm hoping for a gun or something. We found in evac procedures, peek at a contingency token even outside. Well, that ain't gonna happen. Let's see what this one is. Glow stick. All right, glow stick. Ignore the darkness effect for you. That's not bad. Knowledge 3. I do have knowledge 3. Discard this card during your melee attack action. Instead of gaining a contamination card and rolling a combat die, the target of this action just suffers 1 injury. Well, that's not too bad. I think I'll keep that one, since the other one is pretty much no good to me. And for her second action, if I don't do a second action, she is done for the turn. I only have these 2 cards that I could use, but neither of them are going to be legal actions. So I have my rest card. I can use that. It says scan all contamination cards in your hand and remove all uninfected cards. If any of the cards were infected, follow the infection procedure. I do have a contamination card, so we're just going to go ahead and scan that, and we're going to hope for the best. Let's see what happens here. Let's stick our card right in here, and hopefully it does not say infected on it. If we look here, it says it does not. Oh, it does say infected right here. Oh, that's terrible. Now, I do have to keep this card again because it says infected, and I have to take a larva now and put it right on her character board. So while her wish came true, double time. She now has 2 people that have larvas on them. Now we just have to get the isolation room, and I don't even know if we're going to win the game when we get there. That's the end of her turn. We're going to have our lab rat go next. She has to use 2 cards first to try to move. She's going to use her basic repairs, and she's going to use her inconspicuous card. She can use both of those to move because she still has that knee injury I can't do anything about. Maybe I should have gone for medical supplies. She's going to move over here. She doesn't have to put a noise token down because she's moving where somebody is. Next, she'll use her search action to move again, and she's going to move into this dark area here, which is going to be terrible. Let's roll the die and see where we have some noise. We don't have noise, and she is not slimed, so we don't have to worry about any noise in that corridor. Wow, that was absolutely awesome. That's about as lucky can be. We're going to use her now. She's going to use her repair card to move down here. There is no noise roll we have to roll, so next we're going to use, do we want to move into the next room? I'm going to probably have noise there. Oh, there's a lot of noise there. I think she's going to pass for the turn, and that's going to be okay. I also am going to pass for our lab rat as well, I think, at this point, and that's going to be okay too, I think. She does have this feel of the dark, so in darkness, discard this card during a surprise attack to ignore its effect. Sadly, she's the second one to roll noise if we have to roll noise. Discard this card during an event phase, ignore the darkness effect that affects you. So she's got that in play for her. So that'll be fine. We'll see how this goes. That's the end. We'll move our tokens and figure out what happens. We do not launch any of the CSS this time, so we'll just move our token down to 6. This is the main gate I'm talking about. It's not open right now, but if it were, our rover could go over here and we could leave through this area here. That's one way you can escape Mars. But sadly, it's not open. We haven't had anybody die yet, which is good. And also, I haven't been able to use any of these computer cards, which are really cool. But either everything that has a computer in it either has A, a fire marker, B, a malfunction marker, or B, a giant intruder that wants to eat me for breakfast. For the first time in a long time, no intruders on fire, and we're not going to be attacking with any of them. So we'll just move to the next event card and see what we have. We have, what is this? fire in the hole. Place a fire marker in the cargo sending system, rooms A, B, and C. Each character there with no action cards in hand suffers a serious wound. Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible. Now we've only found one, and we were actually standing there. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we got out of there. We are also going to move our adult alien down corridor 1, which is going to be the technical corridors. So at this point, we are going to heal him fully. I'm just going to get rid of this dial at this point. This dial no longer is functioning. He's going to remove from the board, and we're going to take his token and place it right back in the bag. It's one of my, I like that system a lot, that they just kind of jump back into the corridors and they're going to come out again and you don't know which one it is. It all keeps on moving around the same concept of you never know how to kill these guys or where you're able to kill them from, which is pretty sweet. We'll place our fire marker right here in cargo sending system A. We have a lot of fire markers left. I'm not worried about those. We have to now do our intruder bag development step. I'm not going to forget it this time. Let's go ahead and draw it in here because I have a feeling we're out of those awesome tokens. Well, there's still a blank one in there. Maybe we can draw the blank one. Come on. Blank one. Nope, not a blank one. Oh, it's an adult. All right, so we're going to have to roll for noise for both our characters. When you roll for noise, you do roll in the order of how your characters are. So our survivor is first. We'll roll her die first. She got a 4. She's going to place a noise marker in 4. There's only 2 things on this dial, a quiet symbol or a danger symbol that will save us now. Our lab rat is going to roll second. Let's see what she gets. Let's see if she has anything she can play that might help her with this. I can discard something during a surprise attack. All right, so that might help us here. We'll see what we get. Oh, we got a quiet symbol. Oh, that's unbelievable. We're not going to have to worry about this. We're not going to place anything for her. That is perfect. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievably perfect. Our survivor will draw up to 5 cards. She can get 4 more. There's 3. Then we'll shuffle this up with her larva token on her. Yuck. Let's see. I don't know I'm going to get that off her. We got 1 more here for 4. Let's turn them over. We've got her interruption, demolition, vents, and distraction. Distraction might help a ton. Oh my gosh, that'll be amazing. All right, that's her. We'll move on to our lab rat. Our lab rat has 2 cards, so she's only going to gain 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, she gets her contamination card and her... Oh, she did not get the one I was hoping for. I was hoping for that really cool one. It's in here somewhere. Ah, it's too bad. It's like her mutagen one or something that allows her to get rid of these for cards. All right, here's the deal. We are 2 squares away from the isolation room, and we have a big queen right up here. So let's get down here by starting by using our interruption card to move. Now, I could do 2 cards to make it a careful move. That way, we wouldn't trigger any of this noise. But the problem is when we get to here, once we try to get in the isolation room, you have to roll for noise. And if I have tokens all around us, it's going to be really hard to get through there. So I am just going to run in here. I've got kind of a plan. It's not very good at all. Actually, it's a pretty terrible plan. Now I think about it, I think it's going to be a terrible plan. We're going to move in here, we're going to roll for noise and see how it goes. We got a 1, that's good, so we're going to clear this and this. There is no noise in the technical corridors at this time. We'll draw an intruder out of our intruder bag and see what we get. This is actually kind of good. I hope it's a larva, that'd be awesome. Let's see what we found. We found the blank token, are you kidding me? That's actually really bad. No, it doesn't sound like it's bad, but it is. According to our intruder encounter card, we have to place noise tokens in every corridor connecting to the room in which this encounter took place. Return the blank token to the bag. Absolutely terrible. That was the one time I didn't want to see that. I wanted actually to be an intruder there. I had a plan. Oh, why do my plans never work? All right, we'll put 1 here, and then we'll put this one into the technical corridor space. That's her first action. Her second action, I guess, is going to be to move again. I guess now I have to move down here and maybe get rid of some of this noise and hopefully take out whatever it is. Oh, this is terrible. Or do I just stay there? But if I stay there, I have to pass, and I don't want to pass. We could, well, I'm kind of out of ideas. I'm going to use my obstinate card. We're just going to move over here. We're going to roll our die and see what happens. We got a 3, so I'm going to place noise right here, and that's the end of her turn, which is, I guess, okay. She's got 3 cards. I might just try to get in the isolation room. What's the worst that could happen? I don't know. Something comes here and tries to destroy me. Our lab rat is going to use her search and rest card to move over to here, and that means she's going to have to roll noise. Let's see how this goes. She rolls it up. She got a 4, so she's going to remove this one, and this one. We're going to spawn an intruder here. Maybe she'll get the blank token too. That'd be about it. Let's see what happens. What could go wrong? Oh, come on. This is it. There she, whoa, little larva guy. Little larva guy appears, totally fine. Where was he just a little while ago? Wouldn't have minded the larva the last time. We'll put our thing here. It says a 2. She needed 2 cards to prevent this thing from actually hitting her. And she does have over 2 cards. She's got 3, so she's in luck. We'll have to, oh, now I got to figure out what I'm going to do about her. She's going to try to run, but if she runs, that means this thing is going to attack her, and she's going to get killed. Well, not killed, but she's going to get more, oh, it's just going to be bad news. Let's see if she's got a way of taking him out. She could punch it, and I think that's what she's going to do. She's going to spend her demolition card to punch this thing. So we're going to roll 1 die. First, though, whenever you punch something, you gain a contamination card, no matter what. So she's going to gain that, which is awesome. Then we're going to roll our die and see if we hit it. Now remember, we're in darkness because I can't keep this place lit to save my life. Maybe their next playthrough I might get some get some light on the board. We'll roll it. Oh no, she missed. Seriously? She missed. That's unbelievable. Remember when I said you should never melee attack something? So since I missed, my target is going to suffer a serious wound. So my lab rat gets a serious wound. She's also gained this hand serious wound here. So now my card of all, the cost of all your item actions increases by 1, which isn't too bad. The only problem is she has 3 serious wounds, which is absolutely terrible. Even though it's dressed, it is still considered a serious wound. If I gain a light wound when I have 3 serious wounds, any type of wound from now on will kill her. And guess where she is? Yep, you guessed it, at the cave entrances, standing in fire. So I think you know what writing on the wall on this one. Since she will be suffering a light wound and already has 3 because of that fire, we're going to place down now a survivor corpse, or a character corpse, I guess you could call it, in that area there. That's awesome. Wow, I rolled a 9 and hit. That was amazing. I'm going to discard these cards. They're no good to me anymore. They're in the co-op version, though. I could bring her to the emergency room and try to heal her. But I think at this point, the survivor has already seen a lot of writings on the wall. More writings than just that on the wall that we have to deal with. She has 3 cards left. She's going to try. She's a 50-50 shot at doing this. Why not? We're going to use our demolition and our the events card to try to get into this isolation room. I think we're still going to die because I have a larva on me, but we'll see how it goes here. I'm going to roll the dice, see what happens. We got a quiet symbol, and she's not slimed, so that means nothing comes at us. We locked ourselves into the isolation room. We were able to complete both of our objectives. There are 3 steps in determining whether or not you are actually victorious. The first one is we have to check the contingency. So our secret contingency was save all. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So that was a pretty awesome one right there to have. That, no matter where we went, we would have been just fine. The second one now is we have to do our contamination check. Our contamination check would be as followed. After we determine if we're locked down and things like that, we have to then check to see if we're contaminated. We're going to take all of our contamination cards and check. If any of them say infected, we're going to go to step B. If you have a larva on your board, you're automatically going to go to step B. Step B is where you're going to shuffle all your cards, then reveal the top 4. If any of them are contamination cards, you lose the game. Let's see how we do. We're going to shuffle these all up. Give them a good old truffle shuffle for the win. Come on, truffle shuffle for the win. I'm going to drop them on the ground there. We're going to get these all good and shuffled here because this is, oh no, this is kind of heart throbbing. Oh my gosh, my heart's beating kind of fast here to see if we make this. Oh, I keep dropping them because I'm so excited. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, we need to draw 4 because we already know what the third step is, and that is that our objectives are complete, and they are. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our first card. Oh, we lost the first card. Oh, that's too bad. Of course, the third step would have been to see if our objectives were completed, and both of our objectives were complete. We were able to activate the alert procedure, and a character left with a larva on them, and sadly, that is what killed our survivor. Oh my gosh, that was so good. An epic playthrough yet again of Nemesis. This time we're in Lockdown. This is such a cool game. There are so many different ways of playing this. This was a very dodgy game. I was trying to run and not get killed, where other games I've played where I actually go in guns blazing. It's very interesting that these characters don't actually start with a weapon. The other ones probably do. I'm going to be doing another playthrough very soon using some of the other characters. We'll probably try the other side of the board. We might even use the other type of intruders just to see what it's like. There's so many cool ways to do this. Not on top of that, there's even that scenario that you can play, that campaign, that 4 little maybe it's even 4, might be more than that. I haven't actually looked at it. Might be more than 4 mission campaign, which is absolutely was amazing in the very first Nemesis game. It was one of my favorite things I've done. So that was Nemesis Lockdown. lockdown. We almost made it. We made it. We got all our stuff. We had everything going for us. Was there any way to get rid of some of this stuff? No, it access codes tool belts. Discard a malfunction token. Glow sticks aren't going to help us. Nope, we had nothing that could save us this time. Oh, that's just too bad. Now, of course, remember when I was moving through all those fire things, I did have my Enviro suit, so I was never taking any damage from that. This is what killed me in the end, but of course I needed it for my objective. Oh, so fun. Oh, this is such a great time. So our survivor did not make it. And either did our lab rat. Our lab rat is also toast. That's too bad. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough of Nemesis Lockdown. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you can see the next one that's coming out. And I guarantee you, this is not the only lockdown you're going to be seeing. On top of that, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. I hope everybody's getting their games soon. I hope people are having a blast playing this. They've really ramped up a lot of the difficulty in this one. I really enjoyed the light mechanic, but sadly I wasn't really able to implement it too well. Hopefully in one of our next playthroughs we can. We got just the rooms that had it, just I couldn't get to them and use it. It was pretty cool. That's it. That's Lockdown Nemesis. Thanks again for watching. And if you're excited to see more Nemesis, or of course anything else, then I need you to meet me at the table.